Patricia mocked my small business until I bought the company he works for. Chapter 1. The dream ever since I was a teenager. Please subscribe, like for next episode. I dreamed of building something of my own. I didn't come from money or connections, but I had ideas and determination. While most of my friends looked for safe jobs, I opened a tiny shop selling handmade candles and home decor. It wasn't glamorous. The store was cramped, the shelves uneven, and I couldn't even afford proper signage. But it was mine. That's when Patricia entered the picture. Patricia and I had gone to school together. She always carried herself like she was destined for something greater. She married into wealth, wore designer clothes, and looked at people like me with disdain. One day, she visited my shop. She glanced around, wrinkled her nose, and laughed. You call this a business? It looks like a hobby project. Honestly, you should quit before you embarrass yourself. Her words stung, but I forced a smile. Give it time. I believe in this. She smirked. Belief doesn't pay bills. Success does. And you'll never make it. Chapter 2. The struggle. Her cruelty wasn't unique. Many people doubted me. Rent was hard to pay, sales were slow, and there were nights I ate instant noodles because I couldn't afford more. But every insult, every doubt became fuel. I worked late into the night, testing scents, perfecting designs, and posting tirelessly online. Slowly, things shifted. A lifestyle blogger featured my candles. Then a magazine wrote about my eco-friendly designs. Orders started pouring in. What once was a dusty little shop grew into a thriving business. Chapter 3. The growth. Within 3 years, I had 3 stores. By the 5th year, I expanded into e-commerce. Soon, my products were sold nationwide, then internationally. Investors approached me. My hobby project became a multi-million-dollar company. And Patricia, she never congratulated me. Instead, she continued mocking me at social gatherings, saying things like, "Sure, she sells candles. But it's not a real business. It's just a trend. Let's see how long it lasts." Chapter 4. The twist of fate. Then came the day that changed everything. During an expansion, I was advised to acquire a struggling manufacturing company that could supply materials for my growing brand. After negotiations, the papers were signed. I was now the proud owner of a company with over 200 employees. A week later, during my first visit to the facility, I saw him, Patricia's husband, sitting in a small cubicle, staring at spreadsheets. He worked for the very company I had just bought. The irony was too sharp to ignore. Patricia, who once mocked me for running a fake business, now had her household tied to my company for survival. Chapter 5. The confrontation. News traveled fast. Patricia stormed into one of my stores, fury blazing in her eyes. How dare you humiliate me like this?" she snapped. I tilted my head calmly. "I didn't humiliate you, Patricia. I just worked hard. The universe did the rest." Her voice shook with rage. "My husband works for you now. Do you understand how degrading this is?" I looked her straight in the eyes and said, "Degrading? Patricia. What's degrading is mocking someone's dreams. What's humiliating is laughing at someone who's trying. Remember when you told me I'd never make it? Well, here I am. And here you are. She had no response. Her pride crumbled right there. Chapter 6. Sweet revenge. Sweeter success. I didn't fire her husband. I treated him like any other employee. Because my revenge wasn't about destroying her. It was about proving her wrong. Months later, my company launched a new product line that went global. My story was featured in major magazines. From a small candle shop to an international brand. Patricia's voice, once loud with mockery, was now silent. The woman who told me I'd never succeed had to watch as I built an empire bigger than she ever imagined. Final chapter. The lesson. Standing in my flagship store one evening, surrounded by shelves filled with products carrying my name, I whispered to myself, never let anyone's laughter bury your dreams. Work in silence. And let success be your revenge. Patricia mocked my small business. But in the end, she couldn't mock my empire. Sparkle's moral. People may laugh at your beginnings, but what matters is how you finish. Let their doubt fuel your determination. Because nothing silences a mocker like undeniable success. Chapter 12. The return of pride. For a while, Patricia humbled herself. She worked quietly, kept her head down, and seemed to be changing. But people like Patricia rarely let go of their pride so easily. At company gatherings, I would notice her trying to slip into old habits, bragging about her past life, hinting at how she once used to run in higher circles. My staff didn't take her seriously, but I noticed. One afternoon, I overheard her say to a co-worker, I shouldn't even be here. I was meant for bigger things. She only gave me this job to feel superior. Her words stung, but I stayed silent. I knew pride often dies slowly. Chapter 13. The temptation. As my company kept growing, a rival competitor tried to poach Patricia. They dangled promises of high salary, prestige, and a position that looked grand on paper. She was tempted, not because of the work, but because of the image. She accepted. She left with her head high, sneering, I don't need your charity anymore. I'll rise without you. But what she didn't realize was that my empire was stable, while the rival company was rotting from within. Chapter 14. The fall. Again. 6 months later, news broke. The rival company collapsed under fraud and lawsuits. Patricia's new life turned to ashes overnight. The fancy title, the bigger office, all gone. I heard whispers that she was selling furniture, moving into a modest apartment. Her marriage strained under financial stress. And this time, she didn't come storming into my office with pride. She didn't call. She simply vanished from society's radar. Chapter 15. My crossroads. Part of me wanted to feel satisfaction. After all, wasn't this poetic justice? The woman who mocked me not once, but twice, now left with nothing. But another part of me wondered, how much revenge is enough? When do you stop proving yourself to people who were never worth it? I realized then that my battle was never really with Patricia. It was with the voice she represented. The doubters, the mockers, the people who sneer when you dare to dream small. Chapter 16. The legacy I chose I kept building. My company became one of the top lifestyle brands in the country, then the world. But I wasn't obsessed with beating Patricia anymore. Instead, I focused on mentoring others, especially young entrepreneurs who reminded me of myself. One day, during a conference, a young woman approached me with tears in her eyes. They all laughed at me for starting a business from my garage, she said. But after hearing your story, I believe I can keep going. In that moment, I knew my true victory wasn't about Patricia. It was about inspiring others to rise despite the laughter. Final chapter. The quiet ending. Years later, I heard Patricia was working at a small boutique, quietly living out her days away from the spotlight. Not rich, not glamorous, but no longer cruel. We never spoke again. But sometimes I thought of her, and instead of anger, I felt gratitude. Because without her cruelty, I might not have fought so hard. She mocked my small business. But in the end, she became the shadow to my light. A reminder of where I came from, and how far I had risen. And as I stood on stage, lights shining, the world applauding, I whispered to myself, the best revenge is never revenge at all. It's success so loud, the whole world hears it. Sparkle's moral: mockery may cut deep, but it cannot kill a dreamer's fire. Build so brightly that even those who laughed must live in the glow of your success. Please like and subscribe, comment and share. Thanks for watching.